guys. Hey Fred. Hey bro, how are you? Hey, kindly Fred, can you tag me this on your page, please? I was not able to do that. Hi, how are you guys? Fred, please don't go before you do that, huh? Hi, hello. Hello, good morning, good evening, good night. Whichever part of the world you're listening from. Thank you very much for tuning in. Come on. Oh, I can see Edina, I can see Areba Charles, I can see Trace Mushira, John Manyange. Welcome guys. I can see, I can see Shia Abeid, Lily Kayla. Thank you. Welcome. I miss you guys. It's been long since we were together. I can see Sheila Palia. Thank you very much. Thank you for finding time to join today's evening show. It is a Tuesday, right? And it's the day the Lord has made. So I have something little that I wanted us to share as brothers and sisters, and so I welcome you. So once, what I may actually request you to do is to let me know if you're able to hear me. Nancy, I can see Nancy Kemi, thank you. I can see Lucy Nyamwaya. Kindly tell me if you're able to hear me, if I'm audible, so that we can proceed. Abdul, thank you. That is Kikungamwaye. I don't think whether you're Kenyan. It's somewhere from around Africa. So we have Mems also Moyo. You can see Monris. Yeah. Kindly tell me if I'm audible. Monris, I have something little I want us to share. And I acknowledge your presence. Thank you so much for creating time to join today's live broadcast. It's been a while since I came live. I've been unwell actually for about a week or so. But I thank God He's given me the opportunity again to rise up and be able to speak my special to you. So, Monriz, Douglas Hamadi, how are you? This is Jerani, all the way from Nairobi. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for finding time to join in today's broadcast. So, call a friend, tag a friend, call a friend. Let's sit back and be able to share a little bit. I'm seeing my brother Paul. Thank you all the way from Russia. Thank you very much. It's a forum that cuts across the world. So, Lexus, we have Lexus. Thank you. Yeah, I can see. I'm seeing quite a number of friends joining in. So kindly, can you type and tell me if I'm audible? I just want to start. I want to share what I have. So if you want to tell me where I'm audible, then I can quickly jump in and begin. So kindly talk to me. I can see Eric, all the way from Qatar. Eric, am I audible? Tell me kindly. Don't go away. Donald Orina, all the way from Nairobi. Eric from Qatar, that's my brother. Thank you. I want us to share about what I just want to speak about is picking up the broken pieces and being able to move on. It's a brief thing that I want us to share. So your contribution will be very highly appreciated. I can see Benjamin, my brother. Benjamin, stay in and kindly share this video to as many guys and as many groups as you can. Yeah, Benjamin, kindly tell me if I'm audible. I've been requesting you guys kindly type and tell me if I'm audible so that I can be able to start. So what I'm saying today, I want us to share about picking up the broken pieces and being able to move forward. It's something that has affected so many guys, and I felt, because I shared it with a friend of mine, someone reached out to me and was like, oh, something bothering me here. So we shared it at length and I said, okay, it gave me an insight. I said, let me just come forward and people to share with you. So am I audible? I'm surprised nobody's saying anything. Am I audible, Benjamin? Can you hear me, Mr. Benjamin? Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Dolphin? Can you hear me, Debbie Shem? Thank you, guys. Moni Rees, can you hear me? I don't think so. Martin, oh, my brother all the way from Uganda. Am I audible? Can you hear me? John Josie, John Chauncey Mbata, thank you. Oh, that's my brother, right? Am I audible? Can you hear me? Kindly tell me, am I audible? Hello? Can you hear me? Eric Kerosi, can you hear me? Just type and tell me. Mary Karaoke, thank you. Lamek Kinyakundi, thank you. I'm still requesting if Kemi Aminga. Am I audible, guys? Talk to me. Hello. Waiting for you to give me a go ahead. Can you hear me, guys? Hello. Elijah Undieki, thank you. Evans Nyota, oh, my old friend. Oh, really? Uko clear? Go ahead. Thank you very much. That's what I've been waiting for. Mr. Fred, kindly share this. So thank you very much. Yeah. So, honestly, I have something that I want us to share. But before I proceed, I really want to thank you guys for creating time to be with me. And at the same time, calling a friend to sit back and listen to today's message. It's high time that most of, for example, from Africa, Kenya, and some parts of the world, that schools have closed. So most parents, their children are back home, especially those ones who have done their national examinations, the KCPE and the KCSE. And my advice to parents is that, this is the time that, especially the teenagers that we have standard 8, the ones who've done KCPE and they happen to be teenagers, and we have the Form 4s who have done the KCSE, and of course in that age, and some of them, they're vulnerable, especially the girl child. They're vulnerable to circumstances out there. So it's our responsibility as parents to educate our kids, be closer to them, guide them so that they're able to make the correct choices, so that they don't indulge themselves into unnecessary behaviors that at the end of the day might end up costing their lives or costing their future. Because you see, it's a step they have just moved, and if they play around with this holiday, at the end of it all, you may realize that something wrong has happened to their lives. Because we have people out there who may be looking at them, kuna mafisi, and at the same time, these kids are adventurous. They are on a stage that they want to discover what the world has. And by so doing, they may do it inappropriately, and they'll end up wasting their lives. So it's my humble advice, it's something to share, that those ones who happen to be parents and their kids are out from school and they have done their KCPE and they've done the KCSE, and these kids are teenagers, please, let's really give them humble care. Let's give them what they require, the advices and the care, and of course reach out to them so that they're able to express themselves fully unto you, so that at least they don't go wrong. It's a humble advice and something that I've seen it ruining most societies. And more especially when we look at our local villages and what people are going through, is that when we look at the statistics of the illnesses, more especially the sexually transmitted infections, actually they're rampant. It's like the probability of people actually contracting these illnesses is very high. So we need to advise them. We need to educate them. Let's not perhaps think that they got full information from schools, and then we tend to sit back and relax. No, we have a responsibility as parents, a responsibility as guardians, to step up and be able to advise our young kids what they're supposed to do. Tell them between what is good and what is bad. And they say, you know, our kids will only perish because of lack of information and lack of knowledge. Since we have them, let's pass it over to them so that they don't land on the mess. So what I wanted to speak over today is that picking up broken pieces and being able to move forward, there's something I want to relate to. It's a wide topic, and I want to narrow it and speak over one thing. We have Kirawa Chafal. Thank you, sir. Thank you, my brother from Uganda, all the way here in Dubai. I can see you, Ogero Mukaya. Thank you very much. So I want to talk about those people who have gone through marriages, and unfortunately their marriages were not able to go through well. That at some level, at some point, there was a disagreement and they ended up parting ways. And at that level, you know, it's a very painful decision. Sally Moore, thank you. It's a very painful decision that when it's taken out of a very, you know, volatile environment, that perhaps you've been having issues, you've tried to iron them out and it never worked, and at the end of it all, you decided to part ways. It's a very painful decision. But now that it has happened, you know, it does not mark the end of the world, nor even the end of your life. So it marks the beginning of another step in your life. And this is what I want us to have a look at. Welma Umoyo, thank you. I just want to have a look at this. Now, once we have the broken pieces, and now you find yourself in a situation that you're alone. Perhaps you've been left with the kids. One parent has gone away and you've gone away and you had kids together. But you know, the kids had to be left with one parent. Now, in that case, how do you pick those broken pieces and people to move on as a person, as a single parent now, or as a single person? I find it a little bit very difficult, more especially to women, because many a times when, for example, marriages break and women and husband and the wife part ways, it is easier, more especially for men, to pick up and move on. You may realize even it's within a very short period of time that men even go engage in other marriages, in other relationships, get married and move on, while women take a little bit longer. It really takes them time to engage themselves in another relationship because they tend to think that they have a role obligation, and again it takes them longer to heal from the previous pain that has been inflicted in them because their hearts are volatile. Now that they have been broken up, you realize that they take a little bit longer time trying to handle the situation, and even as they handle the situation, they have a lot of responsibilities, more especially if they've been left with the kids and the kids are younger. They have to cater for their shelter, they cater for their food, they cater for their education. It's a very hard task, you know, shelter and everything. So you tend to find that they shoulder a lot of responsibilities as compared to the men. And now the husband has just moved out and, you know, he's gotten married. For example, if the woman was really dependent on the husband was the sole breadwinner. So in that case, it's so hard for the woman to stand up on her feet and be able to move forward. And I'm going to center this basically on women. Look at it this way. For example, you went through a wedding. Evelyn Moriti, thank you. You went through a Christian marriage. You are married through the church. Yes. You married through the church. I'm seeing it now. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness, there must have been a taken profit somewhere. So, for example, you are married through a church, and when you are married through a church, it becomes so hard to break, or to disown the vows that you took in the church, and people to step aside and engage yourself in another relationship, more especially as a woman. You tend to confine yourself within those confines of the church, and you say, no, I can't get married because what does the word say? Perhaps the word says you should not do this once you are married, because we tend to know that marriage is a lifetime commitment. Now that you've gotten out of it, I'm seeing Debbie saying, Karibu ndani ya, thanks dear, niko ndani, welcome Mox. So the topic is being able to pick the broken pieces and move on. Ombui, thank you. Yeah, so what I'm saying is, let's put our heads together and people to help, because not only women, even there's a group of men who also find it difficult to move on once their relationships has been broken. They find it a little bit difficult to carry the broken pieces and move on. But I want us to look at more especially women, because they are weaker vessels. You got married through the church, you did a wedding. After a few moments, for example, be it 2-3 years, you had children together, and you've realized that this thing is not working. For example, you're going through a violent relationship, you're having issues left, right, center. You've tried to iron out them through churches, listening together, trying to, persevere, engage dialogue, engage church leaders, engage even the parents, and you've realized that this thing is not working. So Edina Nyangara, thank you. We have Nancy Ombaso, welcome. So now you realize that a time has come when you have to call it a quit. So when you call it a quit, you've parted ways, you realize that your husband or the ex now takes a little bit shorter time for him to maybe to get married to another wife and move on. You're somewhere, you're struggling, you had kids together, you are struggling on your own with your kids. Of course you got the kids together, but you parted ways and you took the responsibility of the kids, because if the kids were very young, even under the laws of the government, it is that if the kids are not at the age that they can stay with the dad, then the responsibility is vested on the mother. So you shoulder a bigger responsibility. How do you carry it on? And not even only that, you only realize that the ex-husband has moved on so fast. Within a month or so, the guy is married, he's moving on with life. And you as a woman, you're busy with the kids, confined in that situation. You can't even do anything. You can't engage yourself in another relationship. One, you're tired. How are you gonna tell your kids, who's this you're bringing in the house? Or who's this man that you're exposing these kids to? They'll be questioning you. At the same time, what image do you portray to the outside environment? And another thing, that you have lost trust with men. Now that you've lost trust with men, you tend to think that even the next man that will approach you will break you up just the same way the previous man did. So you tend to be so careful and confine yourself in that situation. You realize even after 10 years, even after 5 years, you are still in that situation. And even the right people can approach you, wanting to pursue a relationship with you, but you're scared. You don't have the courage to face any other man who may even propose that he wants to have a relationship with you. Thanks, I've seen Mini Kidum, I've seen Hespon Satas, Iskru Sasat and Jacqueline Nyamboi. Actually, I share this thing with somebody over I'm just seen around here. So, how you as women, how do you handle these issues? How do you feel now that you were in a relationship with somebody, and fortunately it never worked, you had children, or you may have not had children, but unfortunately you've parted ways and you're out there struggling to come into terms with the conditions, but the person you were with has moved on. You had invested together so much. You had a home, you had things together, properties together, but when you parted ways, you as a woman, you went empty-handed. You had nothing. You left everything under the care of the husband, the properties that you had, the home. You have gone back to your parents. Back at your parents' home, you never invested anything. You're going there just with the children. and everything has been left with the husband. How are you going to start life? And under these conditions, that's when you realize that most women, they really get heartbroken, right? They get into much stress. They end up getting into depression. They lose the trust that they have for men. And hence you hear some say, all men are dogs. But I want to tell you, as a woman, as a lady, whoever who might have gone through this, and whoever who was, for example, a relative, a cousin, a sister, who has undergone the same, and she's out there suffering, that, you know what, you could even be married together, and unfortunately, one parts ways through, the natural circumstances. For example, one loses life, and you're left alone. There are many scenarios that you can find yourself standing alone, even though you are together. However painful that could be, but I tend to think this one of separation being a little bit tricky, because the person who, for example, spoiled your life, you can watch over that person. You can sit back and see him progressing when you are living in pain, losing all that you had invested together. So it's a bit different from somebody who has lost a life, because you can't see that person. So you can't lay a blame over someone who's non-existent. But for that person whom you're able to have a look at, see every other day, and that is the person who spoiled my future, then it tends to be a little bit more painful. Omani, thank you. I want you to sit back and listen. It's a very, very touching topic. And that you realize that you are there as a single woman, not able to pick the pieces of that separation, in the sense that you are heartbroken, you feel a pinch, you feel it so painful, it's so heavy that you can't forget of the past and be able to engage yourself in something that can be constructive, because you like it or not, whether in the presence of that man or the absence of him, life has to continue. You have a life to live. In the presence or the absence of that partner, you have a life to live. So how long does it take you as a woman to stand on your own feet, pick the broken pieces, find something constructive, engage yourself in a relationship, and be able to move forward? Nelina, thank you. How long does it take you? Are you that kind of a person that once you've been beaten, twice shy, you'll never engage yourself in any other relationship? But imagine that thing it's there. You can't tell me if you parted ways as a young woman, you live forever without engaging yourself in any other relationship. Finally, you'll engage at one. But will it be a constructive one? Will you engage yourself into another relationship in a desperate manner that you allow anything or any other man to hit you and hence damage your life more? It needs wisdom. I want you to take it as an experience, as a lesson that you have learned, that you were in a relationship and something never worked. But along the line, you went through several things. You nurtured this man. You lived through pain. So many happenings, so many occurrences, some were good and some were bad. They occurred to equip you, people to know on how to handle situations. It never happened for granted. All these things, they were lessons to equip you with ways, skills of, handling a man. In the sense that even in the absence of this, whenever you engage yourself in another relationship, you are able to apply the experiences and the knowledge that you got from the previous relationship and people to have a perfect marriage. Don't take it, don't dwell on the negative side. Of course they are, those negative, they are very painful, but never dwell on them, because this negative part of it, and I always tell people that anything negative that comes in your life, any stone that is thrown onto you, it has a reason. It is there to strengthen you. Don't be that person who looks at that stone and only see, bad stuff. and only see discouragements and only see, sympathy. You're so remorseful to yourself. You look at yourself and you degrade yourself and you're like, I'm not even supposed to live. Look at it in another way round. Every circumstance in a human life has two faces. Mom Prince Charles, thank you. Phil from Avera, thank you. Welcome for having time to join me. So every circumstance has two faces. And I want you to dwell on, even look at the bad sides, try to mold them. Nurture the bad faces and make it fruitful. If someone used to abuse you, for instance, throw insults at you, they can be so discouraging. They can be so heartbreaking. But at the end of the day, there's that saying in our language. We were used to be told that we are used to be told that when someone abuses you, you just fold your hand and open up. If you don't find the abuse on your hand, then it's nothing. Ask yourself, what is that abuse what is it gonna change you? What harm has it caused you? I've thrown an insult, I've abused you. Sincerely speaking, what harm does it cause you? It will inflict a feeling that, how did this person look at me? How do I look? How did I look before this? But when you look at it in depth, actually there's no damage that this person has caused you. But as we tend to treat it with a lot of weight, with a lot of concern, look at it, I'm so really, you've become so emotional that why did this person have to do this and to me? It's human, yeah. But you as a woman, you as a man who has gone through an abusive relationship, an abusive marriage, that circumstance is there, it acts as a lesson. You're building a house, that is a foundation to strengthen you. Because even when you look at a foundation of any structure, whenever you start building a structure, the foundation needs a lot of work. A lot of energy is required. A lot of resources is required. And so be it in any relationship, that once you get into a relationship, and that is the foundation, a lot of input is required. It will require a lot of your concentration, a lot of your energy, a lot of your commitment. And sincerely speaking, when it doesn't work out, at the end of the day, you can imagine how much you've invested for this thing to have gotten to that extent, and you realize nothing has, given fruits. And you as a woman, you have already given birth, you have children. And you look at this as a waste because you were married when you were a young woman, when you were beautiful, and now you're being pushed out of this relationship. When you're worn out, you look at yourself, you see you're faded, you don't have your beauty, is no longer there, and you can't even be approached by those potential men that used to approach you back then when you were a young girl. And now you look at yourself as a wasted person. Men may take longer to get to age, to get old. So even when they hit women out there, they're still relevant. They're still marketable. But you having children, you may have it so hard because no man will want to bear responsibilities of other people's children. But you have them. And I think this becomes a bigger reason as to why most women remain single for a long time, because they look at these things and they really become so involving. You project at your children. If I engage myself in another relationship, I get married to another man, how is he gonna treat my kids? Is he gonna take care of my kids' education, health, and everything? And through practical experiences, many men, once they get married to women who have children, they sideline them with the children that they bear with the women. So they tend to sideline them. They don't give them equal opportunities, equal love, equal care. And so the thing also rings in the women's mind.
I know they're so clever. All these things, they become hindrances. But even as this happens, my young girl, my little sister, my older sister over there, even as this happens, think about your future. Think about your life as a person. That this man came in your life, he found you a human being. He's exited your life and left you as a human being. Hence, you have a role to play. There is something that God has given and you haven't fulfilled. And you have to rise up with the occasion and stand up strong, be able to hit the road and move on. Perhaps something better is ahead of you. God never designed that man for you. The kids that you have together are blessings in you. You have already been blessed. You can't condemn the kids. I've got out of a relationship and have kids, and you start saying that maybe these kids are curses. No. When you look back, you as a woman, at the kids that you have, that you had with the ex-husband, they're so beautiful. They're angels. You look at them and you're proud of them. Despite the fact that you may have challenges of actually providing for them, giving them what they may need. But at the end of the day, these kids can smear a smile on your face. They put a smile on your face, to be honest. You look at them and you say, oh my God, my daughter, my son. Hi, Emmanuel Gatimo. You are my good friend, my old partner. We've done business together. I'm happy seeing you. Hi back. So it is a challenge unto you that it is not the end of your life, neither the end of your children's life. Don't live in denial. Accept that situation and be able to pick the broken pieces and move on. Some people, I heard another pastor saying the other day that, even as you count yourself, you look at yourself, you get yourself together with the second-hand items that you have already been used. So you look at yourself and say, I have no value. I have been used. I am already old. I have nothing left. I don't have the taste. But that person reminded me that thing that has been used, it is the thing that has the experience. You know what life holds. You know what it takes to be a woman. You know the pain a woman bears to get a child. You know the beauty of being called a mama. You know the beauty of having kids around you. You've had a chance to interact with the environment, with other married women, with other married men. You know what it takes to be in that environment. And hence, I challenge you that take it positive. Take it positive, my dear sister. Take it positive, my dear brother. Some men are out there, they have suffered the same for a long time. They have ended up having what you call, lacking self-esteem. They can't do nothing because they look at themselves and like, if my woman ran out of me, perhaps I was not able to satisfy her sexually. I was not able to provide materialistically to her. And then she looked at me and she saw me as nobody. So you lack the self-esteem to approach any woman, that you are nobody. You look at yourself and you don't see any value of sustaining another woman in your life. And hence, you even end up getting yourself into drugs, into alcohol. You abuse your life. Thank you, Eunice Murgal. Thanks, Dan Santa, Judith and Sando. Welcome. You have the key to prosperity in your life. Nobody holds your key. And this is what I always tell people, that never let somebody handle the key to your joy. Handle the key to your prosperity. Even as you are in that relationship, you as a woman, you as a mother, you need to open your mind and ask yourself, supposing I wake up tomorrow and this partner is no more, am I that person who will be a beggar? Will I stand forward and sustain the lives of the siblings that we have together? Am I that person who will resort into prostitution to make ends meet? Am I that person who can pop into places working, am I that professional woman who can stand forward and fight for my rights? That is the kind of a society that I want people to live in. That live as a woman knowing that even as you engage together in a relationship, you have equal shares, equal responsibilities. Don't be left behind. That even as a man climbs over, when you are left behind, this becomes a reason as to why most marriages break. Because you let your husband move 10 steps forward, and hence you become irrelevant. He looks back and sees nobody. You're very far. And that environment that he has moved to has people of its own class. Then when he looks around, what he finds there are just lay queens and people whom he tends to view as people of his class, and hence you're left bending somewhere out there. Style up. Watch the steps of your husband. Don't compete, but be that person who's very attentive, watching the steps of your husband, being closer to this person, so that you avoid the circumstances that could surround or that could trigger differences, circumstances that can bring separation. Seal that gap, because whenever you tend to widen the gap, then the coldness tend to come in, and hence diversion of attention, mind, and everything, and you'll be utachikuta kwa mataa. I'm not centering this into women, even men the same. If you let your wife climb the ladder that much, and you're left in the house, you do household chores, you have nothing to do, you don't open your brains. It's not all about education. It's all about wisdom. Tomix Njamba, thank you. It's an advice to those people who have gone through thick and thin. They have fought it so hard in their relationship, and finally they have parted ways. Very painful decision. But it has happened. I want you to be that person who can only give up in life when you've closed your eyes and your hands and your fingers. You are no more. That is to say, when you are dead, when you can't fight anything, then that is the time you can give up and say, oh, all is lost. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, that in case my husband parts away, in case I'm left alone, then I'm dead. It is as simple as it is. You are in a relationship so content, so comfortable, being a parasite to that very man, thinking, oh, for me, my husband is everything. He loves me, he provides for me, he does everything for me. Do you know about tomorrow? And let me tell you, when it comes to properties, some people, we have reached a situation where people worship money, worship property. You say, oh, my husband has everything, I have all the monies. So you're in that comfort zone, thinking nothing is gonna, fall in you. Ask rich people, those people who have handled money. There are time comes even when money can do nothing in your life. It is there, yes, but what else? What can money do? When you are surrounded by pain all over your body, when you don't have relatives around you, money can do nothing. So don't be in that comfort zone thinking, oh, my husband, oh, my wife has everything, and hence I have to sit comfortably and enjoy life. So in the case that tomorrow you part ways, you really don't even have the information. You don't have the knowledge on how you can transform this money or the properties that you've been holding together. Because some at times when we separate, when we part ways as husband and wife, we tend to separate even the properties that we have invested together. We tend to share. So when you move away with the share and you didn't have the information on how to invest, it is something that can evaporate within no time, and you're left in a situation that is so desperate you can't do nothing. So alongside, even as you rely on your husband, you rely on your partner who's capable, who's providing for you, and you feel that you're comfortable, you're in a comfort zone, you have everything, and you don't have to strain, you don't have to think in any way, struggle in any way. My dear sister, my dear brother, when you wake up tomorrow and that person is no more in your life, and you're left with your stupidity in your brains, you don't know how to handle the investments, that is how those things follow. And you can tell me, you can testify that many families that were so well up, the husband and the wife were so well up, they had monies, they had investments, they had good kids, they had a good family. And when unfortunately they parted from the face of the world, if these kids were not well catered for, they didn't have the knowledge, they were not taught on how to do well investment, and then finally all these properties evaporate. They squander everything with no time. Esther Mulusa, thank you. They squander these things within no time, and you only get to realize it ends up being the worst family, the most poorest family ever. Why? Because people are left not to think. Guys who are not subjected to any reasoning. So what am I advising my fellow sisters and brothers? You are out there. You have parted ways with your partner. You had a good relationship, but it never worked out. You've moved out. You've been left with the responsibility of the children that you had. It is not the end of the world. I don't want to see you going through pain, crying to pastors every other time. Oh, I was left alone, seeking for counselors. You were the first person to start counseling yourself. Accept that. Own it. Yes, I was married. And it has happened. We've parted ways. For how long could you stand a violent relationship? For how long could you stand an abusive marriage? The decision you took as a woman to step out is something that could save your life. And now you could now be happier out there, wanting to pursue your life with your kids and finding ways and means and ways of arising up strong and moving forward. It is my challenge to you. I didn't want to talk so much, but I wanted to leave a word of encouragement to my sister, to my brother, that is not the end of your life. It is a new beginning. The experience that you went through during that time equipped you with ways, skills, and knowledges to stand up on your own. Pick those broken pieces and move forward. Don't hate men. Don't hate friends. Make as many friends as you can. Friends is the best people you can have around you. But choose. They say choices have got consequences. As you choose the friends to hang around with, just know they have consequences. You have the key to select who is who. You have a key to open those doors, to access the blessings that God has for you. Never sit back and say, it is gone, it is over. Let me wait for God to open another way. Nothing can happen just wherever you're seated. Nothing, there's nothing will come on a silver platter. You have to struggle. Even identifying that right next man that you're going to pursue your life with, it will take a sacrifice. You'll have to rise up and people to gauge and people to compare. Look at what you had gone through, the experiences that has been given unto you through the past relationship. And that will be a guideline on how you will be able to identify somebody that will be friendly to you, that you can also tie a knot with, and people to move forward. Don't be that person. Don't be that man who will just engage himself in drugs just because you feel that you are a loser. You have no future, you have no life, and hence, wow, you are there, you're saying, I have no future, I have no life. Let me tell you, they say that experience is the best teacher. You've emerged the best teacher through your previous experience, through your previous partner, through your previous husband, through your ex-wife. You become the best teacher. That even as you go out there, the mistakes, the errors that you got, that you, it's awesome. You are not a loser, but you are a winner. I look at you when you cry, when you shed tears every day, looking back at somebody who was even about to take off your life, who used to underlate you, who used to, step on you every other time. You're back here alone, you're separated, and still you're looking back crying, oh, I wasted my time. I did ABCD. This was my painful experience. Forget about it. Wipe your tears. Put a smile on your face. Be a strong woman. And walk strong. God will never abandon you. The tears that you've shed all along or in your past experiences, they were not just going in vain. They were opening doors. They were hitting places and opening blessings for you. And a time will come when you'll harvest from the pain, from the suffering, from the insults, from the violences. Oh my God. You'll reap from all those that you went through. So for me, I'm here to encourage you that men go out there immediately as you part ways. Some of them, they don't even take long. Within a short time, they remarry and move on. And you as a woman, you take 10 years, you take 5 years, still in that pain, trying to look at men as all of them being useless, and you end up being a loser. It's high time to accept and move on. Don't live in the past. The past is gone. Put up a new dress. Remove the past one. Put up a new dress and move on. The world has plenty for you. The world has a lot of goodies for you if only you open your eyes and be able to focus and look forward. Erase the past. You have the rubber with you. Erase the past and move on. Trust me, you'll be a conqueror. And even if you go it alone as a woman of purpose. Go it alone as a woman of virtue, knowing, God has for you. God has a future for you. So that's what I had for you today. Thank you for those ones who joined in. Thanks, Alfred Mecha, my good friend. Straight Talk, I've seen you. I've seen Miss LM. Thank you for giving me a hand of support. I welcome you guys, and I've been away. I know some guys we have lost touch because it's been a while since I came live, but I promise I'll be coming quite often because I have a lot of stuff for you. And whenever you feel that there's something you need us to share, hit me. Get to my Facebook page, George Mosima, on Family and Motivational Teachings. Let's put hands together, let's put our minds together, and we'll be able to tackle the problems, the challenges that we're encountering as families, both as youths, as the elderly, and even for those who are contemplating to get into marriages. That is the message I had for you today. Thanks, Mokasa Rochas. God bless you, and put God first. And as a reminder, kindly, for those who have kids who have cleared their KCP, those ones kids who have cleared their high school, that's the Form 4 leavers now, they are living in that adventurous stage, some of them. And you can bear with me that even most of the ladies, that's the age that most of them mess their lives. They get married, some of them get pregnant, some of them, contract diseases just because they really want to adventure. They were, confined in schools, and now they are in the open world. So try to tame them, talk to them, advise them, guide them as parents, and let's educate them. That is the key. Let's show them the light, so that at least they don't make bad choices. They don't land themselves in a mess, because we need them. They are our children, and they are our future, and they are the future generation and the future society. So if we neglect them now, then it means we are spoiling, or we are breaking the future. Thank you very much for those who spend their time with me. God bless you. God bless your families. God bless the work of your hands. And above all, whether you are a single parent, whether you're in that relationship, what I preach is that gap. That gap. If you're in a relationship and it's intact, check on the gap. Don't let your husband leave you 2-3 steps. I'm not saying you compete, but get to know what your husband is up to. You know, the likes, the dislikes. Keep him on track. You know, I'm not saying you're there checking his mobile phones, whatever he has, his social circles and everything. No, but don't allow your husband to move several steps ahead and leave you. The gap that is left in between you is what Paul calls in a relationship, and hence you'll find yourself left alone, and hence even separation will come in. That is where the devil gets into marriages, and hence we see a lot of separations, a lot of divorces coming along. Love your husband, express, feed him all that he wants. Be closer to him and get to discover his likes and dislikes. Men are simple creatures to handle, very simple creatures to handle, if only you learn their weaknesses. Women, we normally say wanaume ni mafisi. Hatukatai. Of course, women are flowers. And hata ukiona nyuki pale nje haiwezi ingia kwa maua moja ikasack nectar. No, it's spoiled by choices. There are several flowers out there, and that is the nature of man here, and even women the same. But once you enter into that bond, which is marriage, try to close that gap, and by so doing, there's no way breakups can be rampant as we experience of late. Like, marriage is a lifetime commitment. Commit yourself so well, and I'm sure God is going to bless you. God is going to bless your marriages. And even as you're a single woman out there, God has a purpose for you. Forget about the past. Wipe the tears. You have the strength. You have the power. You have the key to unlock your potential. Don't live in denial. Oh, you're looking back, it's trying to watch if that husband got married, if your ex got married, if he's doing what kind of property he's owning currently. Forget about it. That is his own life. Leave him alone. Push your own agenda. Focus. Look at what you can do as an independent woman. And by so doing, you'll easily erase the pains, you'll easily accept who you are, and you'll gain the power. And that is all about picking the broken pieces and being able to move on. If only you can first of all internalize it, accept, oh, it has happened, I have been left with this. What am I supposed to do? Move on. Surround yourself with positive friends. If you surround yourself with losers, surround yourself with women who gossip around, and what they are is about, prostitutions and immoral actions, then surround yourself with health environment, and hence destiny is for you, and you'll be having a future that even the society will emulate. I've seen women out there who are going single, and people are emulating them and saying they want to be like so and so. Why? Just because they have conquered that vice of denial, that vice of thinking that a man has to be behind you. You are beaten once, yes. If you feel you can make it alone, go for it, and you'll make it. Thank you so much, and God bless you. And I've promised you I'll be coming live quite often. I was unwell and I've been having challenges up and down, but now I'm strong. I'll be showing up quite often, and
If you have an issue, if you have something that you need us to discuss, hit my inbox. I'm available. We can interact. Tell me, address it, then we can share it, and even if it means bring it forward before the forum, we can discuss it and we can educate our people. We don't want our people to perish just because of lack of knowledge, lack of the experiences. The ones you have, let's share, and then we can move forward as one. Thank you so much, and God bless you, and have a wonderful night, morning, evening. Bye-bye. Love you.